This was with my friend who later on passed, a very good physiologist. We worked on the neurophysiology of the chick embryo, how the movement start. Came out a long article during the war, Swiss article in Switzerland. It was the article which came to the attention later on also to Victor Hamburger with the other. I was not in agreement with Victor Hamburger about the reason why, when you cut the limb bird in a chick embryo, the sensory and motor cells just undergo atrophy and degeneration. He thought it was a phenomenon of induction, lacking induction. I personally didn't believe so, and in this article, which he read and was very interested in, I decided, and Giuseppe Levi is also co-author in this article, that the cause of death was not a phenomenon of lack of induction from the periphery, but simply nutrient lacking. That is, by taking away the limb bird, the nerve cells, sensory and motor cells, which normally innervate the limb bird, were lacking something, a nutrient. I didn't know what kind of nutrient was it, coming from the periphery, so it was an entirely different interpretation from the one Victor Hamburger had been given. Victor Hamburger was a student of the great embryologist Spemann, and just thought that the phenomenon was a lack of induction. I didn't believe so. In 1946, I had already my position as assistant of Professor Giuseppe Levi at the university. Giuseppe Levi received a letter from Victor Hamburger, a very beautiful letter. I still have this letter. And Giuseppe Levi called me and said, "Here is a letter of invitation to you. Will you accept it?" The letter was written in German. Victor, naturally, was German, and Professor Giuseppe Levi was very fluent in German, so he translated to me the letter. Professor Victor Hamburger wrote to Giuseppe Levi, "I know that a young person, a young lady working with you, has been working on the same problem which I have been working on ever since 1934. Would she will accept to come for 1, 2 weeks or even months to work with me in Washington University, where he was chairman of the Department of Zoology?" Professor Levi asked me, "Do you want to go?" But at the time I had some doubt if I wanted to go, and delayed until 1947. I was very excited by the letter, but I did not really want to immediately move away. When I received the invitation by Professor Victor Hamburger and took with me, "It is perfectly true what you said. The special thing is my experience and a really particular gift, I must say, to work with microsurgical instruments which I had prepared myself. They were different from Spemann's instrument. As perhaps you know, Spemann and Victor Hamburger worked with glass needle, which they fabricated. I preferred just normal needle, the needle which you use for sewing, and I transformed this needle on a mold in a microsurgical instrument. And I was very, very capable in just implanting, transplanting piece of the embryo. And this had been doing before even going to the United States. Besides this particular competence in working with microsurgical instruments à la Renaissance, you can see, I became very competent in tissue culture. Professor Levi was a great scientist and a great man. His merit was not only to be an excellent person and very good friend of mine ever since up to the end of his life in 92. But he had also introduced me, he was a pioneer in the tissue culture technique, which no one knew in Italy. Carrel had written his famous book, and of course it was well known, the technique in the United States. But Ria was not very familiar. When I went to Washington, I saw that no one knew about this technique. I was instead very competent. I spent 2 years with Giuseppe Levi before being thrown out from the university and working in tissue culture. So this was the special gift or special instrument, if you want, which I took with me when I arrived at Washington University. That is a